Hi guys,
Hi guys.
welcome back to our channel.
Welcome back, guys.
Welcome back to the DeAndres table. You know, I hope you guys are enjoying this new journey of the DeAndres
Family.
family. We're gonna try and keep it real. We're gonna try and keep it sweet and short. So in this episode, we're gonna be talking about how can families influence your relationship or your love life.
And I feel like this should be like an African edition because we're African.
Yeah,
So you
like
can't speak for
yeah,
everyone.
that's true. That's true. It's more like turning into African just because I think we can relate more because
Yeah.
is where we come from. So
Did the honors.
all right, so I'm gonna start by giving an example. How can families get involved into your relationship? For example, one of the things that African family, or at least Angolan family, they like to do is when you start to get to know someone, yeah, and you think that is the right person for you, but if one of the members from your family see that person, and they don't like it, they're gonna go back to the family and already say, look, oh, your son is trying to date that person. I don't think he's a good person for him, even though they don't know anything about that person.
Or like judging them based off their looks and that.
Oh yeah, this is what African people they do like to do a lot, like judging the person by the looks. This is just one of the examples. What else can you add into it?
I just think African people were very judgmental, and I feel like the older generation of, let's not just say African, let's just say in general, because I don't want to target Africans, okay? But we can obviously only based it on how we've grown up, being raised within African households. But it's like the older generation, right? They like to put the pressure on you of, you get to a certain time. So, for example, you're young, you're trying to have a relationship. No, you're too young, you need to focus on your education, you need to do this, you need to do that. And then you get to, I would say probably around 24. Is that once you get 24, 25, not every Uncle Bob, Harry is not asking you when you get married. You see the aunties and uncles at the way, like a family union gathering, and everyone's asking you, oh, where's your husband? Where's your husband, auntie?
Yeah,
where's your husband?
There is that pressure that comes from everybody. When it gets to that age, that pressure comes from everybody. So when you're gonna bring the daughter-in-law, whatever, when you're gonna bring someone to the family, when you're gonna introduce as someone that you're thinking to take it seriously, or you're gonna get married into,
you're gonna start having kids. And I feel like this sort of topic on kids is very sensitive because you don't know. You don't know if that person has tried to have kids before, or they can't have kids before, and it's just like it's a bit sensitive. Do you know what I mean? It's
way too sensitive because really, truly, there is so much that can go. There is so much that can be going on into a relationship because it can be that, I don't know, they might not be able to have kids on that time. They might be struggling with, or they don't want to have kids. Yeah, because that happens a lot. A lot of people, they don't want to have kids, but because of the friends around and the families, they feel like it's because the cousin is having kids and is your age, you shouldn't be doing the same thing right now.
Yeah, and it's like that pressure. Like if you look into it, there's so many younger people getting together in relationships that they're not even happy in. Yeah. Everyone's depressed, everyone has anxiety, everyone's dealing with so much trauma. And I feel like within the African household, we don't deal with trauma. I feel like within African households, we don't talk about traumas. And it's like a lot of us, when we're being raised within the African household, we deal with so much traumas. And you don't even realize how much trauma you have until you start getting into relationships. Yeah. And it's like, even like speaking from myself, you start getting into relationships and it starts to get repetitive. You start breaking up with people because of the same reasons, and you don't probably realize it's because of a trauma response.
Because of something that happened in the past.
Something that happened. And African parents, aunties, whatever, they don't take responsibilities for how much trauma they might have put you through. I mean, I'm all for, you can only, as a parent, I can only do what I can do. Them, do you know what I mean? Your parent can only do, or your auntie, or whatever, whoever raised you, can only do the best that they possibly can. But at the same time, it's like them not acknowledging that trauma that they put you through. It can influence your relationships. Do you know what I mean? Like we and so many other people have entered relationships still having to deal with traumas that we never got time to probably deal with. Do you know what I mean? To actually deal with. And it's like pressuring people to get, like, I just think it's cheeky to pressure people to come into relationships. Like an auntie will pressure you to get into a relationship, but auntie's been getting cheated on for 30 years. 30 odd years. Auntie's been getting cheated on. She's in a crap marriage, everything like that, but she's pressuring you, you know, to get into a marriage. And it's like, it's so, relationships are so difficult, and it's like if you've been in a long
time relationship,
if you've been in a relationship or in a marriage for such a long time, I feel like you need to put the brakes a bit of rushing people to get into a relationship, because you know the realities of how it would be when you actually enter into it. And another thing as well that they love to do, they still look at you like you're a child. So they wanna pick your partner for you, and even within that, now our generation is kind of marrying outside our culture.
That marrying outside the culture is a big problem as well, because
for some,
but most of it, because what they do, they prefer you to get married within the culture, the same culture, not someone else, because obviously there are different type of cultures everywhere, especially when it comes to African families. You know what I mean?
Even though we're all African, everyone has very different cultures, beliefs, whatever.
And like certain families, they're very picky when it comes to this. And even so, you decide to go ahead with it, it's going to be a whole problem with it, because it's not the way we do things, it's not the way we present things. It shouldn't be like this, it shouldn't be like that. But really and truly, and when it comes to this, the families, they don't really want to hear what you, as the person that's going to get married into or gonna be with, they don't want to hear you. They don't want to hear what you guys think about it. They just want to go over it and say, like, you guys are going to be doing this like that.
And then they do that thing of, oh, if that's the case, you're not going to have our blessing. Like,
and they put this into place. Oh,
and then the child in you is like, oh, but if I don't get the blessing, then, you know.
Of course, you get scared.
You do need to have the blessing from the elders, from the older people. But it's like, unless that person has actually done something that you believe, or like your child comes to your niece, nephew, whatever it is, comes to you and says, I want to marry this person, and you have a genuine reason to why you believe that person shouldn't be with the other person, then I get it. But at the same time, it's not your place, especially if this person is coming to you and they're already grown. I would like to assume, I feel like parents or adults that have that thing of we know it all.
They do have that.
But if you do know it all, why is your own relationship failing?
Why you not the perfect example of all of us, for example? Do you know what I mean?
And I feel like that's another thing as well, not being the perfect example.
And you expect the child to do perfect. That's the thing.
Yeah, like you know, holding your child at such a standard that you cannot reach. I mean, I do get, like, I have a son. I would love my son to be better than me. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's like, should I not be an example for my child?
Exactly.
Because how can I hold him at a higher standard if because it's like the older I am, the more knowledge I should have, the more sensible I should be, the more I should know what's right and wrong. Mm-hmm. But it's like, I'm older and I'm still getting it wrong. Yeah. But then my child,
is the one that you drew the line.
Yeah, like I'm holding in a chokehold to get it right. And I feel like there's that pressure within females especially. Mm-hmm. I don't know if men get it so much, but it's like within females, they try to keep us like little girls still. They don't see us as a grown-up version. It's like, you can be grown, but you're still a child. You can be grown, but you still need to listen. You can be grown, but you do, to a certain extent. But everyone needs to live their life.
But in the eyes of an adult, you're still a child, regardless. I mean, whether you're a man or a woman, you're still a child. Which, it's okay, but it shouldn't be like that, because you expect us to grow up, but you're treating us like a child. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I feel like us females, we fall into that thing of we tend to listen more. I feel like men, guys will probably rebel a bit more.
But
like
that's the thing, because when they do try to treat as a like child, is when it gets to the point that the child says, "Now, you know what? I'm already grown up. Since you trying to stop me, and you want me to grow up or not, so I'm gonna have to show you that I'm actually grown. Do you know what I mean? And things need to be different. You need to treat me like an adult now. I'm not a child anymore. Do you know what I mean? And that
but to break that barrier is hard. It's hard from growing up, because you still the inner part of you, the inner child of you is still trying to make everybody proud, trying to make everybody happy, and it's like whatever your family says goes, but that's not really gonna work within your marriage, within your relationship. If you're hearing everything else that everybody else is telling you, and you don't decide, you know what? Because at the end of the day, your parents or whoever raised you should raise you enough to believe that you will get to the point you will make the right choices.
Exactly.
Do you know what I'm saying? So if you, as an older person, you still in your mind, you still sit there and think to yourself, oh, you're still making the wrong choice, then I feel like you need to reevaluate how you feel like you raised me.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Because you should believe enough that you raised me, like that little piece of you to believe enough that you raised me correctly, that I will make the right choice. And even if I don't, that I can recover back from it. Do you know what I mean? Like, let the child go. Let them be free.
Yeah. Just a little example I'm going to give it, yeah. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but I'm going to say it, because this happened to us, yeah. So when we got together, yeah, and everything, so obviously after a few months, Bree got pregnant and everything, but
don't judge.
But Bree's family, they were trying to get involved into the relationship, like involved into our relationship or into Bree's head, basically.
In their defense, and I'm not backing anyone, but in their defense, I have never introduced a male. Yeah. Because we don't, like, the African part is like the respect part of it. I've never introduced a man to my family as, this is my boyfriend. Nah, we don't do that. Like, do you know what I mean? So I always
just to go to the step into the, like, obviously, get to know the family.
The introduction.
Gary.
You have to come through the front door, not through the window, which is exactly what he did. He came through the window.
I completely understand.
So it was one of them ones where my family hadn't met him. They didn't know who Dyrus was. I never introduced no one. They didn't even know that I had a little someone on the side. So you can only imagine, like, three months afterwards, I'm telling them I'm pregnant. Of course, they're gonna be thinking, what the hell is this?
But that's the thing. So they were trying to put into Breen's head that obviously they don't know me, right?
Yeah, they don't know this guy.
But you can't judge. You can judge someone if you don't know. Do you know what I mean? Is that what I'm trying to say? Because the point of this is the influence that the family have into your relationship, into your love life. Because imagine, I was judged in the past right now, and I was judged in the past, but look where we are now.
Yeah, so it's like, if I had decided, obviously, it was, even for myself, it was a leap of faith, very big leap of faith, because considering we went here for very long, and I did, end up, and I did end up getting pregnant, and then trusting somebody enough to be like, I don't know you too much, but I'm gonna have your child. Because for me, the way that I seen it was, even though I didn't really know how it would be in terms of relationship, I trusted him enough that I thought that he would be a good dad.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Now, that was a risk, because just because I was a good dad, it doesn't mean I shouldn't.
I wouldn't be.
Like, do you know what I mean? It was like, I'm gonna take the risk and trust you enough to be a good dad, but also for us to stay together. It was a big it was a leap of faith. Don't do what I did, guys. I wouldn't say it just worked out in my thing, but I can understand from, like, family's point of view. It was stupid. My family was looking at me and probably thinking, this imbecile, like, what is she doing? Do you know what I mean? So I can understand that, because it was risky, but it just goes to show, if I hadn't taken that leap of faith and believed within myself, like, okay, I know what I'm doing, I'm gonna take the chance, and like not had my son, and it's like through having my son, I had so many blessings come after it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So that leap of faith opened doors for me.
Yeah.
To then, you know, having my child, being with him, getting married with him, and like building a life with him. It doesn't happen like that. I would say probably I'm the lucky one, but it's just a little example of don't let, if you truly you truly have it in your heart, like you feel like what you're doing, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Then go for it.
Follow your heart.
Because at the end of the day, every single person within your family, within your friendship group, does what they believe is the best for them.
Yeah, they probably done the same mistake. They done. Do you know what I mean? End of the day, whether it works or no, it's going to be a lesson for you for life.
But don't just try not to have a baby with a lesson.
Yeah, try not to be like that. But obviously, it will be a lesson for life, and it can be a good lesson, it can be a bad lesson, but it's still a lesson. So, and
I feel like it also, like, if we go back to our story, another reason, let me just put this out there before it was like, oh, yeah. Another reason why I decided that I would, apart from the fact that I felt like he would have been a good dad, it was the way that he took it when I had said that I was not pregnant with his child. Now, if you're telling a man you're pregnant with your child, he's telling, I'm not going to be there for you.
Yeah, that's a red flag.
It's a red flag. But the way that he took it was like, okay, I got you, we got this. So it's like, read the room, and it's like the older you're getting, the more knowledge, the more maturity, the more you're trying to understand life, you will read the room, read the person. Do you know what I mean? What are they saying to you? Is this the right thing? Is this knowledge? Whatever it is. Don't just pack your things and go if you feel like the red flags are there.
Exactly.
But at the same time, like, hold your partner down. If you feel like that's for you, hold your partner down.
Yeah. Believe in yourself, believe in the person that you think is the right one for you, and go on.
And don't let your family influence you, because I'm telling you, most likely, people within your family are doing just as much nonsense.
Or mad things.
That they shouldn't be doing. But, so don't let any, and then you gotta do what makes you happy. And it's like, I feel like growing up within an African household, this is something that your voice is, they kind of try to shut you up.
Yeah, it's not heard. Your voice is not heard. It's not
heard. You're a child. What you have to say is irrelevant. You're having to say what we know is best.
Yeah.
And that's not always the truth. You can, as a parent, as a child, you do need to respect them. You do need to listen, but it's like with everything that's given to you, you take a bit of what you think is right and you leave what you feel like is not right. You don't take everything, because people can't lead you if they don't even know where they're going either. Because just because you're older, it doesn't mean you know where you're going.
This is why I got married, this person, right? It's not just, you know what I mean? This is why I got married. Can you hear what she said? Huh?
It's not.
This is why she's my wife. So with that being said, you know, we hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment and subscribe. And if you have any dilemma into your life you want to share with us, we can also talk about it.
We can give a little 2 pence on it.
Yeah, we can also give advice, you know, and say what we think about it, because, you know, it's always good to learn from someone.
Yeah, we'll put our email address there, so you guys can send your dilemmas if you want us to talk about anything and everything, really. We're trying to be a bit more open, but at the same time...
vulnerable.
Yeah, like, let you guys into us, but at the same time, like, as much as we want to, we don't want to. Do you know what I mean?
But we're gonna, you know, open up
a bit more. Yeah. So, we'll see you guys next time, and thank you for tuning in.
The Gender's Table.